What makes this icy place perfect for a creature built to dominate? Russia's Far East, a land of ice and forest, is the perfect arena for a creature built to dominate. Primorsky Krai's snow-covered taiga, where faint sunlight barely breaks through, is nature's toughest proving ground. Here, a massive paw print, about 10 inches wide, marks the snow. A deep, echoing roar. This harsh, frozen wilderness is home to the Siberian tiger, one of Earth's ultimate predators. Join us to explore this icy realm, where the king of the forest reigns supreme. The Tiger of Primorsky Krai. Blanketed in thick snow and gripped by bone-chilling cold, is the ideal domain for the Siberian tiger. A predator forged by nature's extremes. With temperatures often plunging below -30 degrees Celsius, the tiger's thick fur and insulating fat layer shield it from the brutal cold. Powerful legs and razor-sharp claws allow it to move silently across snow. Stalking prey like deer, elk, or wild boar. Its keen eyes and sharp sense of smell ensure no target escapes. A thunderous roar, audible for miles, declares its dominance. In this frozen, unforgiving land, the Siberian tiger stands as a symbol of raw power and perfect adaptation. Primorsky Krai and the Sikhotelan Mountains in Russia's Far East cover nearly 400,000 square miles. Forming one of the world's largest taiga ecosystems. This region, recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, includes vast red pine forests, the frozen Amur River and snow-covered valleys. It supports over 1,200 plant species and 65 mammal species. including red deer and predatory birds. The tiger here accounts for about 25% of the globe's coniferous forests. Making it a critical hub for biodiversity. The Sitota-Lean Mountains are central to this ecosystem. They host a range of habitats from dense forests to open valleys. Shaped by mild summers and colorful autumns. During these seasons, temperatures rise comfortably, rivers flow freely, and the land bursts with vibrant foliage. Despite the seasonal changes, the region continues to sustain life. Red pine forests provide shelter and food for animals like deer, while the Amur River teems with fish that support predators. The mountain's varied terrain offers niches for species to thrive. From small rodents to large mammals. This ecosystem's balance comes from its ability to adapt. During the vibrant summer months, plants and small animals thrive in the abundant warmth and sunlight. The tiger's coniferous trees, with their needle-like leaves, efficiently conserve water, even as temperatures rise. And they provide shelter from summer storms. Predators, like eagles and other birds of prey, take advantage of the open valleys to hunt amid the lush greenery. The region's isolation has preserved its biodiversity. With minimal human impact, making it a stronghold for species found nowhere else. The brutal climate shapes a unique food web. Plants like red pines produce seeds that feed small mammals. Which in turn support predators. The Amur River, even when frozen, sustains fish that otters and birds rely on. The Sikote-Alin's rugged terrain creates microclimates. Allowing diverse species to coexist. How does such a cold, unforgiving landscape fit for a Siberian tiger? The interplay of climate, terrain, and adaptation making this region a remarkable example of nature's resilience. In the frozen taiga of Primorsky Krai in the Sikhote-Alin Mountains, wild animals thrive in a brutal yet abundant ecosystem. Red deer, moving in herds square mile in some areas, graze across snow-covered meadows. Moose, weighing up to 1,500 pounds, wade through icy rivers, their massive frames fingering food. Wild boars, tough and relentless, dig through snow for roots and tubers. Tracks in the snow, large and deliberate, hint at a predator's presence, stalking these prey species. This tiger supports a high density of prey, making it a vital feeding ground for top predators, Siberian tigers. Red deer and wild boars are primary food sources. While moose provide a challenging but energy-rich target. This ecosystem is a battleground of survival, captured vividly in Wild Animal Documentary. Red deer, swift and alert, roam open valleys, their numbers sustaining the food chain. Wild boars, with their aggressive nature, root through frozen ground and covering scarce winter food. Moose dominate the rivers, their size deterring all but the most skilled predators. These wild animals form a complex food web where energy flows from plentiful prey to elusive hunters. The taiga's deep snow and sub-zero temperatures, often below -40 degrees Celsius, shape their behavior. Red deer rely on speed to evade danger, while moose use their bulk to navigate icy terrain. Wild boars' resilience lets them forage in brutal conditions. The abundance of prey draws all at nature's raw power and balance. Snow insulates the ground, preserving roots for boars and grasses for deer. Rivers, even when frozen, support fish that otters and birds eat. Indirectly aiding larger predators. The tiger's vastness, covering nearly 400,000 square miles, ensures space for these species to coexist. Yet, the faint tracks and a low growl in the distance hint at a greater force than a predator shaped by this icy world. The tiger's frozen heart, where survival demands strength and cunning. In this harsh ecosystem, only the most powerful predators, like the Siberian tiger, can dominate. In Russia's far east, winter in the taiga of Primorsky Krai and the sea Kotelin Mountains is brutal. Lasting 6 to 7 months, temperatures average around minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, often dropping to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Heavy snowfalls, piling up to 3 feet, covering red pine forests in ice. Only the toughest wild animals survive these conditions. Red deer huddle in groups for warmth, while moose trudge through deep snow. Wild boars dig beneath the snow for food. The frozen Amur River locks fish under ice, forcing predators to adapt. Coniferous trees with needle-like leaves endure the weight of snow and retain water despite the cold. Winter poses several challenges for Siberian tigers. The deep snow limits their movement and can slow their hunts. Requiring greater energy to track and chase prey. Many prey animals also become scarce or harder to find. Forcing tigers to expand their territories. The cold can sap energy, making it essential for tigers to find sufficient food to maintain their body heat. Despite these hardships, Siberian tigers have thick fur and a dense undercoat that insulate against the cold, along with large paws that act like snowshoes, helping them move efficiently through the snow. This harsh climate shapes a resilient ecosystem, where survival demands strength and adaptation. The deep snow and extreme cold test every species. Yet life persists in this frozen world. The tiger's vastness provides space for these animals to endure. This unforgiving winter commands respect for nature's raw power. How do Siberian tigers in the taiga survive temperatures as low in Russia's Far East? The taiga of Primorsky Krai and the Sekotalin Mountains transform during its short summer, lasting 2 to 3 months. Temperatures reach up to 70 degrees, triggering rapid plant growth. Green meadows bloom with wildflowers, and the Amur River flows swiftly, teeming with fish. Wild animals like red deer and wild boars roam freely. Grazing on abundant grasses and roots. Moose feed on tender shoots near rivers. This season supports a surge in prey populations, with deer and boars reproducing to sustain the food chain. The warm weather allows plants to produce seeds and berries, providing food for smaller animals and birds. Predators, such as eagles, take advantage of the open terrain to hunt. The ecosystem adapts quickly to this brief window, with animals building energy reserves for the unrelenting winter ahead. The taiga's vast area offers ample space for these activities. Summer's warmth and resources create a temporary haven. Enabling survival through the long, cold months. How does this ecosystem adapt to such extreme seasonal shifts? Climate shapes the survival strategies of prey animals, creating unique hunting patterns for predators. Red deer migrate dozens of miles to find grazing lands. Moose store fat to endure unrelenting winters. Wild boars dig for roots under snow. These adaptations help prey survive extreme conditions, from freezing winters to dry summers. Migration allows red deer to access food year-round. While moose rely on fat reserves when vegetation is scarce. Wild boars' foraging skills keep them fed in tough environments. These behaviors make prey predictable, yet challenging targets for predators like wolves or big cats. The interplay of climate, prey, and predators forms a dynamic food chain. Understanding these adaptations reveals how ecosystems stay balanced under environmental pressures. This cycle of survival and predation keeps nature in motion, with each species playing a critical role. Red deer are a critical food source for Siberian tigers. Supplying 60 to 70% of their energy needs. Living in herds of about 50, they move through valleys with ears up and eyes alert, maintaining a density of 8 to 10 deer per square mile. Their speed, reaching 35 miles per hour, helps them evade threats like wolves or bears. These animals migrate seasonally to find grazing lands, covering dozens of miles to escape brutal winters or find new food sources. Their agility and group behavior offer protection. But predators are relentless. A single misstep can mean lethal. As predators exploit any weakness. The herd's constant vigilance shapes their survival strategy, with each deer relying on the group for safety. When threatened, they bolt in coordinated bursts, using speed to outrun danger. Yet, predators often target the young, old, or injured, who lag behind. This dynamic creates a tense balance in the taiga, where red deer must stay one step ahead to survive. Their movements influence predator behavior. As wolves or bears follow the herds, waiting for an opportunity. This cycle drives the food chain, with red deer as the foundation. Their presence supports not only predators, but also scavengers and smaller species that benefit from the ecosystem's balance. Climate changes like harsher winters or reduced grazing areas challenge their survival, forcing herds to adapt by traveling farther or shifting routes. These adaptations affect predator-prey dynamics as hunters adjust to new patterns. Understanding red deer's role reveals how interconnected life in the taiga is. Where survival hinges on speed, alertness, and group strength. The constant threat of predation keeps the herd in motion, creating a thrilling struggle for life in the wild. The musk deer. A small and secretive creature roams the dense forests of Asia, weighing 20 to 40 pounds. With long, sharp fangs and a keen sense of awareness, it navigates rugged terrain to find food like leaves and grasses. Living in groups of 10 to 15, musk deer maintain a low density of 3 to 5 per square mile. their prized musk gland makes them a target for poachers, but their agility and alertness help them evade predators. When threatened, mature males bares its fangs. Ready to flee at the slightest danger. This elusive animal thrives in cold, remote habitats, often under thick forest canopies, making it a fascinating subject for a wild animal documentary. The musk deer is a prey species for the Siberian tiger. Its scarcity or abundance directly influences the tiger's food supply, hunting behavior, and survival, especially in shared habitats where other prey may be limited. As prey, musk deer provide a vital food source for tigers, especially in harsh winters when other prey like deer or boar are scarce. However, their low population density and elusive nature make them hard to catch. Forcing tigers to expend more energy hunting. A decline in musk deer due to poaching or habitat loss could push tigers towards starvation or conflict with humans. Protecting musk deer habitats ensures a balanced ecosystem. Supporting the Siberian tiger's survival in the wild. Oos, the solitary giants of the taiga, can weigh up to 1,500 pounds and provide a substantial food source for predators like Siberian tigers. These massive animals wade through rivers and graze in dense forests, relying on their size and strength to survive harsh climates. Unlike herd animals, moose roam alone, making them harder to track, but a valuable prize for any predator. diet of tough vegetation supports their bulk and resilience in a challenging environment. A single moose can feed a tiger for days, reducing the need for frequent hunts. However, moose are dangerous prey due to their powerful kicks, forcing tigers to use cunning and precision. Moose also influence the tiger ecosystem by clearing vegetation, which helps shape forest growth and supports other species. Their solitary habits mean lower population density compared to deer or boars, requiring tigers to cover larger territories to find food. Climate changes, such as deeper snow or reduced forage, push moose into new areas, altering tiger hunting patterns. If moose numbers decline, tigers may switch to smaller prey like deer or boars, impacting the food chain. Stable moose populations support healthy tiger numbers, maintaining ecological balance. The challenge of hunting moose hones a tiger's skills, making each kill a testament to their strength and strategy. This predator-prey relationship showcases the raw survival dynamics of the tiger. Where power and vulnerability shape the wild animal's story. A shadow moves swiftly behind the trees. A predator is close. The herd of deer suddenly freezes, eyes wide and ears alert. For a moment, the forest is silent, except for the soft fall of snow. Then, without warning, the deer bolted in all directions. A shadow moves swiftly behind the trees. A predator is close. The peaceful taiga is now a battleground for survival. Branches snap under heavy footsteps as the chase begins. The predator pushes forward, muscles straining through the snow. determined to catch its prey. The deer scatter, using speed and agility to evade capture. Weaving through dense forest and over frozen ground. Each movement is a fight for life. The tension builds with every heartbeat. In the cold, quiet wilderness, this chase is a test of strength, skill, and endurance. The forest watches silently as predators and prey race through the snow. Only one will succeed. This is the harsh reality of the tiger. Life here depends on these moments. Where survival is not guaranteed and every decision matters. Who will come out on top in this fight for survival? The taiga ecosystem, a vast wilderness, supports over 300 bird species. 65 mammals and thousands of insects, creating a delicate balance. Stretching across rugged landscapes, it thrives on interconnected roles. Fish swim upstream in the Amur River, fueling bears and scavengers. Sea eagles soar above, controlling smaller populations. And insects drive nutrient cycles. Each species, from tiny bugs to massive moose, sustains the food web. This balance is critical for Siberian tigers, who rely on prey like moose, red deer and wild boars for their energy. Stable prey populations ensure tigers can hunt efficiently. But disruptions, like declining salmon runs or reduced deer numbers due to harsh winters, force tigers to roam farther, expending more energy. Overhunting of prey or habitat loss from climate change can shrink tiger populations. As their survival hinges on abundant, healthy prey. Conversely, tigers help maintain balance by controlling herbivore numbers, preventing overgrazing that could harm forests. If insect populations drop, affecting plant pollination, the ripple effect reduces food for prey, indirectly starving tigers. The tiger's complexity, where every species plays a part, supports this apex predator. A single change in fewer salmon or dying trees can destabilize the system. Threatening tigers and other wildlife. This intricate web, showcased in wild animal documentaries, inspires awe at nature's interconnectedness. Where the Siberian tiger's strength reflects the tiger's health. Human activities threaten the tiger's delicate balance, endangering Siberian tigers and their prey. Russia's Far East lost 1.5 million acres of forest due to logging. Deforestation destroys habitats, forcing animals like moose, red deer, and wild boars to move, making them harder for tigers to find. Vehicle tracks and logging sites disrupt migration routes, reducing prey availability. Climate change, raising temperatures by 2 degrees F over the past 50 years, alters vegetation and water sources, further stressing prey populations. With a tiger's energy coming from these animals, shrinking food sources increase starvation risks. Tigers must roam larger areas, burning more energy, which threatens their survival. Habitat loss also fragments territories, isolating tiger populations and limiting breeding. This disruption ripples through the ecosystem, affecting smaller species and scavengers. If deforestation and climate change continue, the tiger's food web could collapse, pushing tigers toward extinction. Protecting forests and addressing climate impacts are urgent to preserve this ecosystem. The tiger's survival and that of its apex predator depends on immediate action to curb human-driven threats. In the heart of the tiger's wilderness, conservationists work tirelessly to protect a fragile kingdom. Camera traps capture fleeting glimpses of the majestic Siberian tiger, a symbol of raw beauty and strength, prowling through snow-draped forests. Reforestation efforts breathe life back into scarred landscapes, with saplings rising under the shimmering dawn. Children, wide-eyed, learn about nature's delicate balance, their curiosity a spark for hope. This wild animal documentary unveils the tiger's grandeur and the urgent need to preserve it. Conservation directly impacts the Siberian tiger, whose survival hinges on thriving forests and abundant prey. Protected habitats ensure these elusive cats can roam freely. While anti-poaching measures curb threats to their dwindling numbers, only about 500 remain in the wild. Organizations like WWF lead the charge, restoring ecosystems and fostering coexistence between humans and wildlife. Every action counts. Learning about conservation, sharing these stories, or supporting local efforts can ripple outward, safeguarding the tiger's icy realm. By planting a tree, spreading awareness, or donating to trusted groups, you help secure a future where the Siberian tiger's roar echoes through the taiga. Join the fight, because this frozen kingdom and the creatures within it depend on us. Your small step today can leave a lasting paw print for generations. Beneath a radiant midday sun, golden light filters through the tiger's towering pines, casting dappled patterns on the forest floor. A distant, powerful roar reverberates, proclaiming the wild's untamed spirit. This wild animal documentary unveils the tiger's vibrant saga of life. Frozen wilderness is home to the Siberian tiger, one of Earth's ultimate predators. Join us to explore this icy realm where the king of the forest reigns supreme.